Hey, folks, a video on what's wrong with American schools. Why are these inner cities and big metropolitan areas having such a problem with schools? Well, from my observation, all these teachers are quitting. I think 60,000 teachers are quitting this year. They've had enough. Why? Because the children can't even read or write. And whose problem is that? It's the parents' problem. Let me repeat that. The fact that your children can't read or write is your problem, not the school's problem. Because I'll tell you what, when I grew up, my mom read to us every night until we could read for ourselves, and then we all read and passed the book around. One of our favorite series was The Three Investigators. And everybody in our house, by the time they hit high school, was at college, second or third year in college, vocabulary and writing ability. Now, that came from the home and our mother. It did not come from the school system. Let me repeat that. It came from the home and our mother, not the school system. So for all these people out there, I don't feel sorry for you. If your parent or if your child is not mentally handicapped, okay, it's on you and the way you run your home and the way you treat your children and the priorities you set in the home and the values you set in the home. In our home, the number one value was reading and writing and learning how to do that, because math brains are a crapshoot with children. Some children are geniuses in mathematics and it comes easy, and other children will struggle for life. It's just the brain. But reading and writing, that's different unless there is a handicap involved. And we used to, in our old days, those children were easily identified because they weren't already reading and writing. When they're in the school, in grade school, second grade, you could see right away something's wrong. Okay, let's send them to special ed where a professional trained in identifying these problems could identify the problem. The child could be identified completely on what their needs were, or identified that they were severely handicapped. And then we had to make other arrangements, like understanding maybe this child's not going to be capable of life functions on their own, okay? And so, and I'm talking all the way back when in the 70s. Now we have a lot more information today, and it should be easier, okay? But the problem starts in the home, not in the school system. And this is why 60,000 teachers are quitting this year and last year. They've had enough. You as the parent are responsible for your child's ability to read and write. And if you don't get that, you deserve to be kicked off welfare because your home priorities are wrong. Okay? So I don't feel sorry for any of this that's going on right now. And I'm apolitical. Okay? In other words, both sides, I don't care. I'm an independent thinker, thanks to my mother. Now, this last message goes to all these single parents. I don't have time. You don't have time to love your children and give them the greatest tool to succeed in life, which is reading and writing and understanding directions and being able to learn and grow and adapt to life as it comes. If children cannot read and write, folks, this is a disaster. And that's what I'm hearing is why so many teachers are quitting. How can you teach somebody who cannot read and write? Now, whose responsibility is it? It is not the teacher's fault. It is the parents' fault. If you don't have the time to teach your children to read and write, you shouldn't have them. And that's the bottom line. Reading and writing happens in the home where values are set. And that leads to the next problem: lack of discipline in the schools. These children are running wild. They can't read and write. Where is this problem coming from? Is it the child's fault? No. It's the environment they're being raised in. And it's easy to see. Nothing wrong with these children's brains. They're not being raised right. And the values in the home are backwards. And now what's that problem? Is it drugs? Is it alcohol? Is it just ignorance? I don't know. But it doesn't matter. If your child cannot read and write and does not have a mental disability, it's on you as the parent. And that's where the responsibility needs to get back to. This is what's wrong with America. People not taking responsibility for their children. Your child is a reflection of you, whether you understand that or not. And if you got a disobedient, disrespectful child that can't read and write, that's on you. And that's how society used to be. And that's what we need to get back to. You can't throw money at that problem. This is a home problem. This is a parent problem. And it's time to start calling it out, because our teachers are suffering from this lack of respect. And they're quitting. And it's going to get worse. And it's time to put the responsibility on parents and start calling them out. It's time to, when you show up at that school, you be respectful as a parent and listen to what your child's problems are, and then go home and fix them. Stop whining and complaining and blaming the school that your child has no discipline, your child has no focus, your child can't read and write. That's on you. And that's what we need to get back to. You want to save our schools? You want to start saving our children? Let's get back to calling parents out. Now remember, there's a lot of disabled kids in the world with autism and other challenges. But they can be sent to a special place called special ed, where they can be given the tools, if they're able to accept those tools or utilize them, and improve their lives also. We don't have to sit in this chaotic school system with children screaming at teachers and parents coming and screaming at teachers when the problem is in the home and the way those children are being raised, period, end of subject. If your child is disrespectful, rude, and cannot sit and read and write, that's you, the parent, period. And you're an embarrassment to American society. You are a disgrace to this country if you can't teach your children to read and write unless they have a handicap. Now, let's call it what it is, and let's start teaching our people how to raise children again. And what the number one priority is to make any child succeed. You have to teach them to read and write, and it starts in the home, not at school. In the home, and that home's values and its priorities and where parents are putting their time. I pray for everybody. God bless everybody. I'm sorry this message is a little harsh, but when I hear 60,000 teachers quitting due to unruly kids that can't read, folks, we got a problem that needs to change, and we need to start pointing the finger where it belongs, directly on the parents. Let me say one last thing. If you're on welfare and you don't have to work and your children can't read and write without a handicap, oh, that's disgusting.